Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 MVP Open at Maple Hill. Our coverage is graciously presented by OTB Discs. We are at the 9th out of 10 Disc Golf Pro Tour stops. Big Barry commentary bringing you all the action. Jeremy Koling joined by Paul Ulibarri.
Happy to be here.
And let's take a look at our Grip 6 low-profile card today. Our feature group consists of Garrett Gurthie, who gave an incredible effort last year at this event, coming up just short to Paul Macbeth. We've got Ghost Man Eagle McMahon, who did not play, much like his face mask implies there, he's ghosting us. And Kevin Jones, he's obviously coming off that big win last week, bringing a lot of momentum into play. And we have got a North Carolina player here, Raven Newsom, sponsored by MVP, so obviously he's going to make the feature group. And let's get into the action at the iconic Maple Hill Gold Course here in Leicester, Massachusetts. Hole 1, one of the most famous holes in disc golf, and definitely one of the most fun starting holes you're ever going to play. Par 4, 835 feet. It is just a big bomb off the tee box. If anything, you'd like to be on the left side to set up the angle to approach this peninsula green here, which is surrounded by out of bounds all the way around.
Gainesville, Florida, Double G, Garrett, Gurthie. Good luck, everyone. Good luck.
I have seen Garrett get to the wall from this tee, so I'm pumped to see what he has in store for this tee shot.
And he's going real big. Oh my God. It really just doesn't even make sense how he can get so much action on a disc.
Boulder, Colorado, Eagle McMahon.
And there's Eagle's face. We finally get to see it. So he's...
The first one was a stunt devil. I know it.
It was a stand-in. He was actually late to his tee time. This is not actually Eagle McMahon. The scariest thing that you can really ever feel on this hole is a little bit of headwind. That pond for these guys is really not in play at all, but for most players, if there's a little bit of a breeze, that pond gets a lot larger. And this is going to be turning over to a place that Eagle's probably not going to be able to attack the pin in two.
I don't think that's true. I think he's going to have a nice little easy sidearm probably from there.
You think you can get to circle 1 from there?
Circle 1,
From
the
Greenwood,
gap,
Arkansas,
and his circle 1 is a lot
Kevin
bigger than ours.
Jones.
I feel that. Kevin Jones going to be riding high off of one of the most impressive shots ever seen in disc golf history. Yesterday, there was a skins match, and this man right here did something special. I'm not going to ruin it. You're just going to have to watch it. If you haven't seen it by now, you haven't been paying attention to the internets. And that is a great shot for Kevin.
North Carolina, Raven Newsom.
And this young man's been making a scene. Not making a scene. That's not the right. That's not the right words. He's been showing up in the North Carolina disc golf scene. Definitely a young player with a lot of talent and a lot of power as well, as he's gone really high. That is going to drift off to the left side, sacrificing a bit of distance, but the angle's going to be nice.
Yeah, it looked like he got the nose up a little bit, and then there was a little, I believe, left to right wind on this hole.
Yeah.
Makes sense why it lifted
It was
a
an
bit.
inconsistent wind all day. Sometimes it was definitely very apparent, and other times it just felt like a calm day.
This is a smart play, just kind of chucking a hyzer, leave it a little bit
Ooh.
short.
And off to the right side. That can be a very scary short approach.
He's not even going sidearm here. Is he trying going over the top, or is he just laying up?
Oh, he's just laying up. I mean, you basically would have to throw a horseshoe from that spot. When you go that far.
Horseshoes are really heavy, and they go straight, Jerm.
I did not know that.
Big flare. That a girl.
Oh, great
Thank
shot
you.
for Kevin, getting up to circle's edge. very hard thing to do on this hole. The second hardest hole on one of the most challenging disc golf courses we play all season. Garrett, of course, going with his Sonic.
Works.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is a little bit sketchy on that line, but that little hole definitely opens up a little bit for the backhand turnover. And Raven. That is gambling with disaster. If that hits any of those limbs,
he might be making a scene.
Yeah, there we go. Now it comes into play. An eagle taking a nice par here on hole 1. Kevin Jones coming up just a bit short. Kevin was able to win the GMC in a way that we haven't seen him win tournaments in the past by not making a ton of circle 2 putts. His driving accuracy was on point, and Garrett has also come up short. If Kevin can get that putter hot, though,
he's not going to win. He needs to keep missing circle 2 putts because it's a proven, surefire way for him to win tournaments.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
that's the best thing that could have happened is him miss that 35-footer right there.
To be fair, he didn't even really leave himself that many outside the circle putts last week.
You're right.
Like
yes.
He was just on fire with the putter or with the driver. On to hole 2, par 3, 350 feet it says here, but I'm going to go ahead and say right now, disclaimer, did a little bit of my own research, and a lot of these tee signs are old. I'm going to give people at home the actual factuals. This comes in at 382 feet, and not only that, it's actually uphill about 8 to 10 feet off the tee box, making this hole play so much farther than it appears off the tee box. Out of bounds, right side the whole way. Players are going to try to swing in a driver from left to right, getting flat through that gap. So good. Yes. Nice shot from Garrett.
Yeah, you want to kind of take your neutral stability, aim at that left side, and then slow drift it through the fairway to kind of stay away from that right wall. If you yank it a little bit, donezo.
And as open as this. Oh, eagle overturning it, the most common mistake that you'll see on this hole. You'll see at least 1 to 2 drives per card make that same mistake. Kevin looking like he's going to play the roller play that we've seen a bunch in the past, and if it bounces over that ditch at the bottom of the hill, it has a great chance to get really close. But this is too far left, or too far right, and connects on that rock wall. Excuse me, it's a stone wall. New Englanders are very proud of their stone walls, as they should be. Very prominent feature up here in the New England area.
And I really actually do like the play that he's doing there because it takes the OB wall out of play. And if that keeps holding on that anhyzer, it will drift right in front of that stuff. That's really the smartest.
That's just knowing your mistakes. And that was like you said, that's exactly what you want the disc to look like, starting just a fraction more angle.
Right.
And then that's home free. Eagle, the long par save, and that's off the rim, and that'll be an early bogey for Mr. McMahon. And Raven from circle 2, that's a full layout effort. And Garrett makes good on his birdie putt.
Beautiful stroke, nice and high. Drops right in there on the right side.
Nice little correction from the missed opportunity on hole 1 and taking notes on what he needed to make the correction on hole 2. And certainly a much tougher putt, as that one was about 3 or 4 feet higher than where he was standing. On to hole 3, a very challenging, very fun hole. Par 3, 410 feet. Players are going to want to take a backhand drive if they're going to play for the 2. Force a little bit of Anheuser flex, but really you're just trying to keep the disc as straight as possible with just a slight bit of left to right movement. Fairway's somewhat tight, so if you try to get too wide early, you're going to kick left, and that is the worst place you could be on this hole.
When you're in a field and you throw just a shot that barely drifts and you're like, man, I wish I could throw that shot every time. That's this hole.
That's this hole. And Garrett, basically, that's a clinic. That is exactly how you do it. Coming up maybe just a bit short, but that's putting
you might
it
want
once
a
again.
bit tighter, but I mean, that seemed like maybe a slower disc he was throwing there.
Could that have been a mid-range?
Maybe.
Yeah, very well could have, because it just didn't really fight back for the hyzer skip. Kevin with a little bit of that overturn and kicking left, but kicking right back in the middle. If you go too far left, there really is just so many trees in the way to try to get up and down and save your par.
It's a very specific shot for sure. You're not going to really get away with throwing different lines, but this is it right here. This is exactly what we're looking for.
Beautiful shot from Raven.
I've even seen people lay up to the middle and then pitch up the hill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a super safe play as well, just a sidearm around the corner. You don't even need to really focus on flipping it up, just getting one around the corner to the right, and it should set up a pretty easy approach, but we're not going to see anyone in this group go for that shot today. This needs to slow down a bit. Eagle has cooked this one. But backside of the green, I mean, that's actually the best place to be. It's a much scarier putt on the other side of the green. Eagle's got nothing but an open look.
Yeah, he makes a few of these. I've seen it.
I don't think I've seen him miss many.
Oh.
That would be one.
Give it to him.
Wow. That's 2 weeks in a row we've seen a no-chain putt go in.
Garrett has this nice lofty putt, and when he gets on with it, he doesn't need the chains. He just kind of has a great distance and a nice up and down motion right in the basket.
Wow.
That's a good touch.
I mean, the chains hardly even wiggled even after the basket connected the disc, and Raven draws chains as he makes his birdie.
Kevin with his easy approach is right there.
Yep. And that's a par you're okay with. Eagle obviously not thrilled about that start right now, as he's still over par through 3. Moving on to the really fun but super fast par 3 hole 4, 250 feet. And in the past, we've seen players jump putt this hole just to kind of illustrate how much of a steep decline this hole really has. Going straight down towards the water, players are going to throw either a putter or a forehand flex shot down the middle and try to put the brakes somehow and try to land the disc here, because if you start going down fast, it's easy to get over that wall. Best in the game at that, without question. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
Perfect. Yeah, people are going to be like, perfect's an ace. No, that was perfect.
No, that's perfect.
If you're ace running this, you're playing a league and trying to get the ace pull.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Raven off, just a bit off to the right side.
Just needs to get down.
Yeah, that is coming in hot and hitting the Paragon wall. That saves Kevin a lost disc and an OB stroke. He'll have a...
On the pavers? The T-Rad's the pavers?
Correct.
Okay.
I hear people talk about that every year on this hole.
Yep.
Because you want to make that gap as big as possible, so people are kind of going over on that little wood lining around the tee pad. Naughty, naughty. That is not the tee pad.
The wood is not the tee pad.
Nope.
It's not. I had heard differently.
Jump
That
putt.
is...
Great chance. Great shot, Eagle.
That was an ace run.
Jump putt.
You creative son of a gun.
Well, he definitely didn't invent that shot on this one. James Conrad put it under the basket a couple rounds in a row a couple years ago. But I don't think he made it look that easy.
I've seen Johnny McRae throw the turbo putt on it.
No way.
Yeah, birdie it.
That's so cool. And Kevin Jones is on the board.
That was a beautiful stroke right there.
Mm-hmm.
Confident. Right on the stripe.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, Kevin sometimes misses by hitting the cage a bit, but when he makes the putt, I feel like he doesn't squeeze many putts over the rim. Like, he hits the heart, and he hits it hard. Gotta love that confidence. Huge thanks to OTB Discs for presenting our coverage this week in Leicester, Massachusetts on the hole 5, par 3, 285 feet over the water the whole way. There is an option that you're never really going to see anyone play. That's down the right side through the woods, but this is going to be the play you're going to see. Forehand hyzer or a backhand mid-range turnover. Two most predominant plays. Any out of bounds goes to a drop zone.
Please.
Garrett will be going his champion rock 3.
This takes a lot of trust, height, and a good angle. And that needs to get up. And it does.
Oh, that's beautiful. Looked like Kevin was going with an H series of some sort. And just spiking it down next to the box. That'll be a slam dunk for birdie. And we've seen this whole ace before. It's such a great ace run because you're not really concerned about how far right it goes. You just want to get it over that wall and avoid the danger. So the height coming down with that spike hyzer really has a chance to get in. Oh, and
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah, like you said, this is one where you step up and you can actually aim for the ace because that's also a safe shot.
Right.
And if you're perfect, I mean, you get a little one-timer.
Yeah, we saw Greg Barsby do that when he was chasing down the title here.
A few years back.
Yeah, the audience understands that. This needs to go. There's that little bunker of trees early can sometimes kick the disc back over the wall.
That fall must have got you. You forgot. You forgot.
Eagle's been off with this distance so far, right at circle's edge. There he is.
Yeah, it's hard to say off.
He missed 2 of them. He usually makes all of them.
Sure, yeah. I mean, for a normal human being, he's off, I guess, a little bit.
Oh, he made them then, before.
I lost myself in the train of thought as Raven
It's a
with a
good
nice
putt.
putt. I don't think his hand fell forward past his lie, but either way, it definitely wasn't called by the group. So nice job maintaining his balance on a very awkward putt.
Yeah, that was a really good putt right there.
And we're going to have our first star frame of the 2020 MVP Open and a little turbo action from Kevin Jones. You guys know the deal. That's $25
Hole
to charity.
6 plays one of the toughest holes at Maple Hill, and that's no surprise. It has the tightest fairway on the entire course. Then add the OB pond on the left and the OB wall on the right, and it makes it that much harder. If you aren't perfect, expect bogey, double bogey, or even triple bogey in your future. Par will be a welcome sight to all competitors. Let's see how it plays out.
And like you saw there, this is one of the hardest holes you're going to play on tour because double bogey happens in an instant. One errant shot and your whole game plan is unraveled. A great shot from Garrett, throwing his rock down the middle. One of the things that they did on this hole to kind of soften up the green is they took a lot of those little, I'm not sure if they're Creighton myrtles, but they were the very skinny trees that were right there on the green. Made that left side much harder. Kevin Jones
Be the one.
lacing this one. Oh, so close.
That
That was looking
spotter,
good, Kev.
1
Yeah,
inch
thank you.
to the right, was donezo.
Yes, that thing was coming in hot. But definitely one of the most important tee shots on tour.
Yeah, hitting the gap is just crucial. That's hitting the gap. Man, that thing was a speed racer.
Yeah, that was 60, 70 feet long.
So far, just a clinic of how you hit that first gap. This is turned over a little bit. He
Okay,
needs a
kick
good
back
kick.
to the middle. That
Oh,
is
lovely.
Really? You probably will this week. Because it's not like it doesn't play to your game.
And this is just really tough. And that's going almost fine.
That is,
Ah.
oh wow, that was a great effort. Good shot for Kevin. That'll be one of those welcome pars that you were talking about. Garrett giving it a little bit of run. I think that's his brand new Star Sonic Tour Series. It just came out within the last couple of weeks. And Eagle giving the birdie bid an effort, coming up just a bit short. Great
Wow,
touch.
that was right height, good touch. Pretty rare to see a group go through the hole without any out of bounds strokes, but
Yeah, certainly.
very impressive. Yeah.
I feel like Raven can walk off this hole with a 4, not feeling like your traditional feeling after a bogey. This is one where if you don't get everything right on every shot, like you said, triple bogey comes into the equation so quick.
I feel like there's a triple bogey almost every card.
Yeah, it definitely is a frightening hole, to say the least. The hardest one on the course at a 3.86 average. There were only 5 2s on the day. Moving on to hole 7, par 3, 370 feet up the road. Backhand flip up with some kind of straight fairway driver is going to be the most predominantly seen shot. If you can split these trees down the middle, great, but most players who throw down the middle are going to hyzer just left and set themselves up for a 35 to 40 foot putt for birdie.
decently lucky he made the first gap.
Kevin not wasting any time, and this has gone backdoor and is turning all the way to circle's edge. That is getting away with robbery.
Yeah, that's living right there.
And I believe that was Kevin's M2. Wow. Incredible shot from Eagle.
That was a mid-range.
Of course it was. It only went 40 feet past the basket on a 370-foot uphill hole. That's a outstanding effort. And if this gets clean, this might be the closest one of the group. Just hitting those last trees in the way.
Does this look okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, with a little
okay.
kiss to the front side. That'll give him a little bit at it. And that was a good effort from down there. There's not a lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot, and it's a very common place. Give the man his money. Kevin Jones, he's on the board with his first outside the circle putt of the tournament.
With a little anhyzer, sets it in there nice and right on the stripe.
We don't see him throw that angle of a putt very often. Being able to manipulate the angle is so important. A beautiful stroke and a very rare birdie here on hole 7.
Oh, that looks so good. Good effort to save the par. You see a lot of bogeys on this hole, though. Left, right, and you're pretty much scrambling, and it's a tough scramble from there.
And Raven's birdie putt coming up just a bit short. Eagle, a nice stretch out.
Flips the hat on backwards and says, too easy.
Too easy as he picks up the 2 on hole 7. One of 8 birdies on the day, and we have a 107 player count. That's only 7% of our field, whereas 36% of the field is taking bogey, double, or triple. So many early trees. Player can go thwack, 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 like a duck.
You are right.
And just like a duck, they can get shot down right here.
Yep.
That was not going anywhere. Hole 8, par 3, 320 feet. And cross that out, 288 feet. Once again, this hole has moved around a bunch over the years, but this one is right there in front of you. We have lost the 8 holes, I believe they called them, the gallery that stands behind the basket. It cheers on all the players. Unfortunately, no spectators, no caddies at this event.
Just grid order. We're good? All right.
Any out-of-bounds shots will proceed to the FPO tee box, which is much more difficult than the drop zone in years past.
Unless you go out of bounds deep, then
Right. Any out-of-bounds in the water. Correct.
yes.
Kevin going with his P model US. Thrown perfectly.
That takes some trust. That was dropping quickly and then cleared by a couple feet is all.
Yeah, that out-of-bounds behind the basket really makes this drive so touchy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and that's just the last thing you want to see is that wind shear. Was looking great.
Yeah, there was some kind of funky wind coming off the water right there. I saw that a lot of the up and down and people going deep, short. Like you said, it takes a lot of touch to get it just right. Maybe a little luck on top of it.
Raven going with that forehand flex play.
I like this play. If he's playing to that fat part over there, it's a really great play. You're almost guaranteed to at least hit the gap. It's going to slow down because of the Anheuser effect to stable.
The left side hyzer sidearm, it can be a bit scary because those limbs really stick out over the water, and you can't really see it that well from the tee box how far they do stick out.
Oh,
That was really nice.
So nice, baby.
That was really nice.
Garrett,
Thanks, Todd.
certainly, I think out of bounds long was coming into Garrett's mind here at the very last bit of this flight.
I think he was worried about the tree he hit.
Oh, whether it would kick back in the water.
Right.
Yeah.
I see that a lot.
Tree love.
So now you get to see the 237-foot drop zone. And this is easier, but not that much easier, really.
Sit down.
And that's out of bounds long. Eagle McMahon. A long putt left to save the double bogey on hole 8. It's
What's up, man? How you doing?
That was back-to-back putts that were just a couple inches low. Here's Eagle.
that's a good 5 save. That can be problematic. If he misses that putt and he's in the water, he's looking at a 7. Absolute round ruiner on a hole that 42% of the field are birdieing, and guess what? 2% of the field is acing. So we saw some highlights on this hole today as Steve Brinster, local favorite. And by local, I mean New England, of course. They claim him as their own up here in these parts, and he throws it in, and just a couple holes later, Paul Macbeth stepping up with a Luna, and he aced it. Awesome stuff. Last hole on the front 9, hole 9, par 4 finally. We're giving it the proper par call. That's a high five to the whole field because this hole is just so difficult. 420 feet, blind up over the hill and down the hill. A lot of different ways to play this hole. You're going to see thumbers, you're going to see sidearms, you're going to see backhand turnovers. The object is to just get clean through the gap and get down the hill, setting up a very tight landing zone. They've brought that basket over to the right about 15 feet, and it makes a huge difference. Kevin's actually going with his F5 thumber, and I like this play. A very quick flip. It gets the disc corkscrewed much quicker than going with an overstable fairway driver.
Yeah, that's the first thumber I've ever seen him throw, showing you how versatile his game is.
And Garrett going late turn with, I believe, his rock 3, and that is very nicely thrown. This is an absolute gem from Raven.
Didn't hit a thing.
That you don't
Beautiful.
see a forehand that high miss all the limbs. You might not ever see it again, really. And Eagle after the double bogey. He is in trouble once again. On hole 9, kicking right. That is just the worst spot you can be. And, oh no, high limbs.
Yeah, that was a bummer. Straight down. It looked like it even went into a roller, but it must have hit something or just...
And the last thing you want to be throwing on this hole is a blind shot down the hill to that tiny green, and that is sailed outside the circle a good bit.
If he makes that...
I don't even think he's going to have a look from there, Paul.
Right, yeah.
This has got to be the touchiest approach shot you'll ever face. That's well done from there.
Kevin has a lot of touch to spare, though.
For sure. As does this gentleman here. Garrett going with his AVR X3. Oh, that's perfect.
Wow, what trust with that.
That shot will make you pucker.
That is a puckery shot, without question. And Raven after that great drive. Oh no! And he has putted it out of bounds. It looked like it may have crossed that corner up there by the green. That should be a tap-in par, but opportunity lost to have a very easy birdie.
Kevin's been making some really good putts
I
from
got
that
you right by the
25 foot or so.
Oh yeah.
Feet,
Once again,
25
that's-
feet.
25 feet, 25 foots. Whatever.
25 yards. Wait, what?
No.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
if you have a really tiny yard, you could say, I got a 1 foot yard. Garrett with a nice birdie, and Eagle just having to lay up from back there in the woods. No chance at saving the par, and he'll have to take another bogey to finish his back 9. So there it is. Our front 9 is wrapped up here, the first round of the MVP Open, and Andrew Fish is off to a hot start. He's definitely not swimming with any of the fishes in these ponds here today, staying clean, bogey-free, as is Kyle Klein. Paul Macbeth with that ace on hole 8. A slew of other scores at 4 and 5 under par. Very good golf here on the front 9. Back 9 doesn't get too much easier. Stay tuned, folks. Thank you so much to the JomezPro Founders Club. Your support means the world to us. Thank you so much to OTB Discs for their sponsorship of this event. Catch you guys in the back 9.